home is more than just a place to live, and it's certainly more than physical structure.
A home means stability for a family. A good home also means stability for a community.
For me, it means, a foundation from which you can do what you want to do.
Every Boston area family deserves a decent place to call home. The Metropolitan Boston Housing Partnership works to ensure just that.
We need MBHP because it is a strong voice for advocacy for low and moderate income people who need housing. And housing is such a huge basic need that is vastly undermet in Boston.
Affordable, decent, clean, safe housing, that's what's important to people.
The diminishing stock of safe, decent, affordable housing affects and challenges all of us, not just those in need.
1975, 1976, you had a lot of blight. You had a lot of buildings that were in total disrepair. There wasn't much in the way of home ownership.
Boston was a city of kind of depressed neighborhoods. Back then, there really was a lot of physical deterioration and communities that had been beat up.
Boston couldn't be a great city, but had depressed neighborhoods. There was something consistent with that.
In the early 80s, a group of concerned citizens joined together to confront the housing crisis facing the city. They felt strongly that by creating a critical mass of quality, affordable housing, you could transform poor neighborhoods into truly vibrant communities.
There was a need for a bottoms-up approach, yet the organizations that were going to be relied upon to do that really didn't have the track record and didn't have the credibility in the business community.
The solution? A community-based strategy, carefully aligned with strong neighborhood institutions, backed by the support of concerned corporations.
If you get the right people in a room, sitting around a table, then there's no problem that you can't solve.
The Boston Housing Partnership had been incredibly successful at bringing together business, government, nonprofit, and really pioneering the rehabilitation of properties at large scale by community-based organizations.
Not only were we able to create safe homes for people who needed housing, but we also created safe neighborhoods that then attracted business and created jobs.
Today, MBHP provides comprehensive housing-related services throughout Greater Boston, from foreclosure assistance to support for chronically homeless individuals. MBHP administers housing subsidies for 7,600 tenants and 5,000 property owners. Tenant households include more than 1,000 elders, nearly 5,200 people with disabilities, and more than 7,800 children.
The city's housing has gotten much tighter and much more expensive. The good news is there's been a lot of economic revitalization.
We can bring the affordable housing and the subsidies that are needed to kind of help people continue to pursue the American dream.
The Metro Boston Housing Partnership has evolved as a regional partnership, not just a Boston Housing Partnership, and reaches across 28 or 30 communities in Greater Boston.
Advocacy is a huge part of what they do. They're also very much respected and very much in the forefront around, with state officials, public policymakers, and legislators, as well as on the federal level, advocating for housing subsidies and for all of the resources that low and moderate income people need to kind of move up the ladder.
MBHP works to ensure that when it comes to finding decent, affordable housing, the region's low and moderate income individuals and families have choice and mobility. All of our programs and initiatives are designed to encourage housing stability, increase economic self-sufficiency, and enhance the quality of the lives of those we serve.
Without them, the folks would have no place to go in terms of how to find affordable housing.
I think we've learned that over the years that this is not just about building buildings and fixing up real estate. It's creating a community that people can live in, where their families can be safe and secure, but also where they can have connections to the economy, to jobs, to employment, to education.
Their legacy is the fact that if they can look back on the past 25 years and see that they made a tremendous difference in terms of creating affordable housing where there was very little, But they did it in a very organized way, a very comprehensive way.
MBHP is there to try to close the gap by advocating around the availability and resources and revenues needed to do subsidies, to bring subsidies, housing subsidies to low and moderate income families so that they can afford to live in Boston and the greater Boston area.
MBHP is as relevant today as it was when it was first founded, probably for slightly different reasons. But first and foremost, and the thing that's in common, is the need to provide affordable housing. The supply of housing is far less than the demand is.
Now, more than ever, we need MBHP.